Hello there, today I will be ranking all of our players from who I think is most likely to win, to least likely, in a tier list. This will be based on how their game is looking going into next week, their potential long-term prospects, and how I think the edit is factoring into their chances to win or go far. This ranking is my own personal opinion, and will probably change massively from week to week, but these are my thoughts after episode 4. I also want to point out that tiers are not ordered in any particular way. JD joins the RIP tier after a chaotic survivor run in the pre-merge. He was brutally blindsided by Shan, and gave her his advantage, but overall I liked his presence on the season as a whole. First in the E tier is Erika, who we finally were able to see more of this week. Unfortunately for Erika, this screen time was bad for her place in the game, as we saw her overplaying this week trying to vote out Sydney if Luvo lost the immunity challenge. She is looking to be a target should Luvo lose the next challenge, which is the reason she drops to the E tier. As it stands, I would not pick Erika to make the merge. Next in the E tier is Genie, who drops from the D tier. Genie is fortunate to still be in the game, as Shan and Rickard decided to keep her in the game over JD. However, JD and Shan are closer to each other than Genie, and Shan has her steal a vote advantage from JD, so the only way she can stay if Ua goes to tribal is if her shot in the dark works, or if she finds an idol. Genie is not a safe pick to make the merge, and she is one of the players most hoping for a swap at this point. Our last E tier this week is Xander, who has had little focus in the last 2 weeks. Xander still cannot vote as nobody has found the beware advantage on all 3 tribes. Because of this, he is looking like a likely boot at the next tribal council should the Ace tribe lose the next immunity challenge. Xander, like Genie, is hoping for an early merge or a tribe swap at this point, as his future prospects in the game are looking grim. The first D tier this week is Nasir, who moves up from his E tier placing from last week. Nasir's tier ranking has been the most tumultuous this season, and this week doesn't change that. The reason for Nasir's rise is the fact that Erika is now a bigger target than him if Luvo were to lose an immunity challenge, but he still does not seem to be in a power position on his tribe. Nasir can make the merge at this point, but I worry that he will be seen as a challenge threat at that point, but time will tell. Our second E tier this week is Heather, who leaves the E tier for the first time. The main reason for Heather's rise is the fact that she does not look likely to go home at the next tribal council, similar to the reason Nasir rose on the tier list. While Heather is still a challenge liability, as seen by her being the sole reason the Luvu tribe lost the reward challenge, this ultimately could benefit her. If Heather can make the merge, she can slide under the radar and potentially make it far into the game. The first C tier this week is Dany, who retains his tier from the previous week. While we did see more of Dany this week, his plan to throw the immunity challenge did not work, which allowed Erika to stay in the game. Dany is in a solid position on his tribe, but being strong in challenges at this point could be a detriment in the merge as people are looking to vote out challenge threats. Dany is someone who could rise or fall in the tier list, so time will tell. Our next C tier is Rickar, who drops from the A tier from last week. The main reason for this is because he will have no power in the next tribal council. Shan has a steal a vote advantage, which means she ultimately will decide who goes home. While I doubt Shan will turn on him, I don't want to put a player with such little agency higher in the tier list. Rickar is someone who can rise in a tribe swap or merge in the future. First in the B tier is Tiffany, who remains in the B tier from last week. Tiffany is in a trio with Evvie and Liana, and is seemingly safe at the next tribal council. Tiffany might not be the greatest challenge asset, but it is looking like she will make the merge at this point. She will likely be overlooked at the merge, meaning she could make a deep run into the game. If there is no swap or merge soon, I could see her going home after Xander, so she is hoping for a swap soon. Next in the B tier is Liana, who drops from the A tier from last week. Liana had a quiet episode, which is the main reason for her drop in tiers this week. She is still in her solid trio on the Yace tribe, and is very likely to make the merge at this point. She could go far into the game, and seems prepared to make moves, but time will tell in future episodes. Our last B tier this week is Sydney. Sydney drops from the A tier because she is being targeted by Erika. even though it is unlikely that she would go home because of that target. Being targeted is never good for your game. Fortunately she has a solid ally in Deshawn who has her back, so she is in a good position on her tribe. Sydney looks likely to make the merge at this point, but I do worry for Luvu in the merge with so many numbers. The first A tier this week is Deshawn, who rises from the B tier. The main reason is because he was told by Erika that she wanted to send home Sydney. Deshawn is in a powerful position on the Luvu tribe, and looks very unlikely to go home before any swap or merge. He isn't the primary target of anyone, and has the trust of everyone on his tribe, while also having good allies in Dany and Sydney. Deshawn is in a good position to go far into the game at this point. Our next A tier this week is Evie, who drops from the S tier. The main reason for this is that she had a quiet episode following up her previous quiet episode, so we haven't seen as much progress in her game. Despite this, we know she is in the powerful trio of the Yace tribe, and is on top of that trio. She is a near lock to make the merge barring a swap, so it will be interesting to see how her game plays out in future weeks. I could see Evie leaving early merge as a threat, but she has potential to win. Our sole S tier this week is Shan, who is in complete control of the UR tribe. Shan has been an amazing game player this season, controlling every vote that she has been a part of. She also obtained an advantage from JD, which she can now use in the future, and she is in no danger of going home. UR shouldn't have too many numbers at the merge to be too threatening, which is great for Shan. She is playing the best game of the season, and has a good chance to win overall. There is my current tier list of who I think is most likely to win and make it far. Keep in mind that these are just my opinions, and I am unspoiled this season, and this is very subject to change.